My guest today, very excited to be talking with Rhiannon. She is over at the History Center at Courthouse Square, part of the Berrien County Historical Association. Rhiannon, how are you?
I am good. How are you, Johnny?
I'm doing fantastic. Always good to talk to you and catch up on some of the great things that are happening over there at Courthouse Square. For people that maybe haven't gone there lately, maybe they've just driven by. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do on a regular basis.
So, if you've not been to the museum, especially if you have not been since you were, quote, in the fourth grade when you came to a field trip here, as
That's
a lot of people in the county
that's
certainly have,
true.
this is the time to come. We've been spending the last 4 years, including the middle of COVID, gutting and renovating exhibits. We've been fixing our calendar of events with more family friendly programming. In fact, since we last talked, I think we talked maybe 2 years ago on another program that we were doing. We have since updated the sheriff's residence. We have a new display. The whole office has been redone. Super awesome wallpaper. We get so many compliments on the wallpaper.
I
The,
have seen the wallpaper, and I can
it's
attest
a
to it.
good
It is
wallpaper.
fantastic. It's great wallpaper.
Preston Seal is a our Preston. Well, Preston Seal was our friend during that renovation,
Sure.
but peel and stick wallpaper was our friend until we could pick up the pattern. The pattern, not so much. We just finished the hallway. We ripped out carpeting, and now it's much more open and friendly. Our temporary exhibits are lasting a little bit longer. We did took that feedback. Our current exhibit is Bitter Battle, the elections that changed Berrien County. And we
Hmm.
look at the 1880 and 1894 election to move the county seat from Berrien Springs. One failed, one succeeded, but come see how mudslinging has been a part of elections since the 1800s. So that's going on. Of course, a permanent exhibit that was redone in 21. The grounds are improving, the cabin's improving, and of course, the calendar, which is what we're here talking about today. We got a lot more exciting things going on in the calendar, including our upcoming second annual Lumberjack Weekend at the Square.
Yeah, this sounds really cool. It's happening the 24th and 25th from 10 to 5. Tell me a little bit more about what's going to be happening for this.
So we've invited Corvus cohort from Grand Rapids, and they are coming down to take over our property. So if you've not been here before, you may have driven past it. It's actually a quite large property. We're actually 1.6 acres. It's a huge property. So they're going to be taking over the majority of the property, and they are going to lay out a lumber camp. Some will be actual sort of tent style structures, and others will be just a layout to give you, the audience, an understanding how big a lumber camp would have been here in Michigan. Most of the lumber camps were up north, but we actually did have a lumber camp in what is now Bridgman. So this is very much tied to our local history. Throughout the day, we will have demonstrations for saw and axe throwing. We've been getting a lot of questions whether or not the public will be able to participate. The answer is no, because neither organization can afford the copious amounts of insurance to cover a potential injury. But if
Right.
you are interested, there are axe throwing organizations in Berrien County, including Lumberjacks, that you can definitely get your axe throwing desires in. We will have food demonstrations. Food will not be available from the camp themselves because they're not set up for that, but you could kind of see how much labor it took to feed, two, three, 400 men in the middle of the woods. Dave Francis, who is not part of Cova's cohort, will be doing blacksmithing demonstrations, but their blacksmith will be on hand to talk specifically about the role of the blacksmith in the lumber camp. But if you want to see demonstrations, head to the forge. You'll be able to see things both days. For the little kids, we're going to have some lumberjack reading. Inside the cabin, we'll have stories. The schedule will be finalized this week. We were just waiting for a few things from the guys up in Grand Rapids to confirm. But we will have at least twice a day reading for little kids, a little story time. We are looking for volunteers. So if you are interested in volunteering to read, you will get free admission to the event that day and 2 free tickets to give away. So it's our thank you for coming and sitting in that hot cabin on a June afternoon. We will also be selling concessions, and we will have lumberjack themed items for sale. Our exhibit will still be up. The buildings will be open. And there's a couple other things that we're planning that we're just kind of finalizing. Oh, musical concerts. At the end of each day, we'll have a concert featuring the music of the the lumber camp, which we are excited to bring. Everyone loves music. It's a great way to end the day. So the admission is $10, but it's an all-day admission. If you're 5 and under, you get in for free, which is great because you won't be able. You're 4 years old. You don't know what's going on. You're just like, yay, things are flying around. People are in lumberjack. They don't care, but we want them to have a lot of fun too. So it's going to be 10 to 5 both days, and we will have things happening both days. So if you miss Saturday, come Sunday. If you want to come both days, feel free to come both days. We'd love to have you. The guys with Covis cohort they're good people. They love to talk to the public. They love to educate people on different history. And you're from the Berrien County area. You've already met them. They are the ones doing reenactments over at the Niles Renaissance Fair, which is how we found them. So they do the Ren Fair style, but they do different time periods. And we asked them to come last year, and they're like, yes, we'd love to come. So they came back this year.
Now, remind me, Rhiannon, this is what time period will they kind of be covering with the lumbering? Because I know lumbering was a huge industry in Michigan when it was first really settled. But what sort of time frame is this covering in history?
I believe they're looking at the late 1800s because that's kind of when it was at its height. Most of their background focuses on the very northern half of Michigan, which it was just like tree rich up there.
Yeah.
But our lumber stuff down here in Michigan dates back to the early 1800s and kind of peters out by the Civil War, which would eventually lead to the founding of like Bridgman and other communities in that central area along Red Arrow Highway.
That's really cool. And like you said, this is a 2-day thing. You can come to both. So it won't be like the exact same thing will happen on Saturday and the exact same thing on Sunday. It'll be a little bit of variety to that.
A little bit. Like we'll have different stories each day. The concerts will likely be the same. But if you think about it, it's hard for humans to do the same exact thing over and over and over again. So you're going to probably have different people throwing axes. So maybe Jerry throws an axe on Saturday and maybe Maddie throws one on Sunday, and how they throw the axes or how they talk or educate the public will be a little bit different. We're trying to keep it pretty consistent both days so we can kind of streamline it for the crew who have been more than generous with their time with us. I mean, they're phenomenal to work with, and they're coming back next year. They don't know it yet, but they're coming back next year too.
I was going to ask that too, because this is the first time you guys have done this specific type of event, right?
No, last year we made the decision that serial programming wasn't really working for the museum. It was becoming very difficult for us to keep track of who we've contacted, who we didn't. People got tired of it. We did a constellation series in the summer of 2021. And we did one each month, and we had good turnout for the first 2, but by the end of it, people were just like, yeah, it's too much to try to keep up with. So we made the decision that we would anchor each quarter, 3 of the 4 quarters, with a weekend long event where we take all that serial programming and condense it into 2 days, which has saved our staff time, money, brain power. Just it's so much easier. So last year we brought in Corvus to do the Lumberjack. And it wasn't what we were thinking. There had been some kind of weird communication thing, but people enjoyed it. We didn't charge last year, but they did demonstrations. The things were on display. Oh, what's this? They explained to you exactly what the saws were and how they were used. Julie and Maddie were doing food demonstrations in the cabin, but they were kind of back. So when we sat, we loved them. We enjoyed working with them. We had good feedback from people who did come. And for a first year event, having around 80 or so people for a first year event over 2 days may not seem like a lot for a lot of organizations, but that's very good for one of our size. So we sat down with them this year and we kind of said, let's make it bigger. All right, we've had the first year, our property, we know you, we've gotten it out of the way. So what you do is you grow each year. So this year we added the concerts, we added additional demonstrations, and we did ask that please take over the whole property. Where else do you get the phrase, feel free to take over my yard? Typically, you're set in one area. You get the whole property. Don't burn my buildings down, but have yourself a good time. So we're very excited. And then, after this year, we'll take feedback from the public, what you would like to see. Maybe you would like to be able to participate. So how would we be able to do that? Because Corvus and the BCH are both very small organizations, but maybe we get somebody, maybe Lumberjacks comes out and
Sure.
they allow for the demonstrations. Although if Lumberjacks wants to come out this year, we're not going to stop them. They're welcome to come. But the idea, maybe we bring in outside vendors who can handle that kind of work to meet those needs. So as we grow, the idea is that this is something that becomes, well, I mean, we'll never be Pickle Festival because I can't compete with Pickle Festival, even though that's also my event or one of my events, a co-event. But it's going to be, we want it to be something that families can come and enjoy. And it's a different kind of reenactment. We don't have a lot of lumber stuff, and it is still part of our history. So this year, we hope people come, give us feedback, and we'll continue to grow and grow and grow. Our goal is to keep it affordable in years to come. So we'll continue to seek out sponsors to make it affordable, but grow it in a way that is organic and fun and exciting for everyone to come out.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Lumberjack Weekend at the Square at the History Center at Courthouse Square right there in Berrien Springs. You can't miss it because you'll be able to see all the tents and all the great June 24th and 25th. Rhiannon, where's a good place for us to find all the information, not only on this event, but to kind of keep track of what you guys have going on over there?
Yeah, so visit our website, berrienhistory.org. Go under Plan Your Visit. You'll see programs, exhibits, our new signature event, which is Bountiful Berrien, which is in October, and then like our gift shop. So go under Plan Your Visit, and you'll be able to go to our sub pages to see what programs we have. And more importantly, if there's required any sign up or purchasing link, they'll be available on our website. Follow us on Facebook, Berrien County History Center at Courthouse Square. We do keep our page relatively updated. We just sent out the save the date with no save the date actual date on there, but the save the date was still out there. It's out to the public. People noticed it. So we do update fairly regularly. Follow us, to make sure that you're getting those. And then if you ever are interested in kind of having something that you can keep for yourself or reference back to, consider joining our mailing list. We do send out mailings twice a month. Squared Away will provide you with all the information you need about upcoming programs and events. And because we only send it twice a month, it's not nearly as annoying as it used to be before. And of course, you can call us at 269-471-1202. We would be happy to answer any questions that you have. That's what my staff is here for. And I guess I am too, but mostly my staff. And we'd be happy to let you know about ways that you can volunteer, participate, become a member, or a sponsor for upcoming events like Lumberjack Weekend.
Awesome, Rhiannon. Always good to chat with you. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date with what you got going on.
No problem.